Hello and welcome into week 4 of the Kohort late model stock series here at USA International Speedway. And for the first time ever, I'm joined by Rick Main. Rick, it's good to have you, buddy.
Thanks, Kurt. It's great to be here. I'm excited to be here. It's a little bittersweet for me. I'm leaving the series to run some dirt stuff, but means I get to be here every week in the broadcast booth with you, watching these guys go to Slugfest in the late model series.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing you develop in your dirt side. We all know that's where your heart lies. But I tell you what, you just do all those sliders, beating and banging in dirt. Here in these late model stocks, there's a lot of beating and banging. So I'm looking forward tonight, seeing how aggressive these drivers are. It's one of the longer tracks on the series. What are you thinking here?
Yeah, I mean, normally we get to see all that short stuff, right? A lot of beating and banging, and this is one of the longest ones here. So racing's going to be a bit different. I think tire conservation might come into a little bit of bigger effect with you carrying all that speed in the corners. I'm not sure. We'll see how this one plays out.
Yeah, speaking of beating and banging, last week we had a little beef carry over in Discord after the race between Chris Schaefer, Ryan Cavey, some other people chiming in about maybe some over aggressive driving and EOLs, whether or not they should have been administered. So we've opted to go back to a self-policing league. There will be no active race control administering EOLs. What's your thoughts on those ones, on that move?
Yeah, I mean, admitting's a touching subject, right? There's always going to see people have it, see it each way. So I don't know. I think not having race control is going to be good. You can get rid of some of that EOL stuff. And I think no matter what, you're going to see that aggressive driving in short course racing, no matter what kind of racing it is, right? So, yeah, I look forward to seeing it pretty much every week.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. You know, these late models, they're tough to pass. And then sometimes it's either you're diving in, giving somebody a door, or maybe giving somebody a bumper on entry. All right, Rick, here we go. Goat Locker Racing starting lineup. In true cohort fashion, we're going to start from the rear with the weekly Sacco Award. So starting as the only car in the inside row, bringing home the cohort Sacco Award, racing out of New York, driving the SSR Ford Mustang, number 9, Ted York.
And outside row number 8 brings us Nicholas Giampa, and on his inside is Rick Main.
Yes, sir. Then on the outside of Rick Main, we have EJ Luna. And on his inside, we have Ragan Wagon Shuts.
Outside row 6 is Kurt Ney, and on his inside is Bruce Klingen.
Yep, moving further ahead, we have Christopher Schaefer on the outside of row 5 with Gary Mansberger on his inside.
And in front of those guys on the outside is row number 4. We have Ryan Hufford, and on his inside is Dakota Meller.
And on the outside of row 3, we have Nicholas Walthorn. And the moment you've all been waiting for, it's time! Your top 5 is brought to you by Goat Locker Racing. Just as Goat Locker Racing is paving the way in building a sim racing community and support structure for military veterans, police officers, and first responders, these first 5 drivers hope to pace the field and take home the checkered flag in this 80-lap shootout. Starting on the inside of row 3, racing out of Michigan, driving the PFC Brakes Toyota Camry, Ryan New Boots KB. Starting on the outside of row 2, racing out of Virginia, driving the Team RWB Yingling Toyota Camry for the Kohort Motor Club, Kermit El Presidente Henny. Starting on the inside of row 2, racing out of New England, driving the Ginhook D&T Designs, Highline, Simtography, and Frono Motorsport, Chevrolet Camaro, Jesse DeRocha. And starting on the outside of the first row, racing out of Broken Axle Motorsports, driving the Bobby McCarty RNS race car, Solid Rock Harris Ford Mustang, Kyle Push to Talk St. Jean. And now, bringing home the Goat Locker Racing Pole Award, racing out of Texas, driving the Broken Axle Motorsports Black Magic Studies, backed machine for Broken Axle Motorsports, Anthony Monroe. I tell you what, Rick, this is going to be an exciting one. Looking forward to this race.
Oh, yeah, that got me excited there, Kurt. I'm excited. Oh, I can feel it in my boots. This one's getting tense.
So I think pace car is going in this time around. So it looks like they're going through 3 and 4. Pace car lights are definitely off, so it looks like we're taking the green flag here. So they're 3 and 4. Oh, pace car doing another lap, it looks. Doing another lap, getting a little antsy. I'm excited, Rick. I'm excited.
Yeah, it looks like we blew our load a little soon there. We could have waited a lap. We were getting that one in. These guys, they got to be just as anxious as us to go green here.
I'll tell you what, Rick, we'll let them in behind the scenes. We have recorded this starting lineup at least 6 times trying to get it right for our fans. So the excitement's coming, the adrenaline's pumping. Now we're on the backstretch. This pace car has to go in this time around.
I would think so. It's done pace twice, right? How many more times could it possibly pace?
I think he's fixing to run out of gas here pretty soon if he doesn't go in. All right, let's see as he drives through 3 and 4. And he's in. So here we go through 3 and 4, heading into the 5-6 graphics restart zone. And Anthony Monroe leads us to the green flag. And here we go, Rick. We're here, USA International Speedway, 80 laps in the Kohort late model stock series.
Yeah, these guys are up through the gears. Probably going to sort stuff out here soon. Long race, our first race. We forgot to mention these guys don't get an extra set of tires this race.
Yeah, it's a good call, Rick. So previous races, we had 1 set in the pits. First race, that we have 1 set to last the entire 80 laps. So if there's any pitting action that happens throughout this race, maybe it'd be for to be on the safe side of fuel, which is right on that fuel window, 80-lap race.
Monroe looks to have a little bit of a gap here over Gene. I wanted to ask you in the pre-race, and I forgot. Who's your pick early for this one?
So I don't know. Kyle St. Jean took the checker flag last week. So, early in the season, only 4 weeks in, with a shitty hosted race that we won't talk about. Oh, as I'm saying, Anthony Monroe loose. Opens up for my guy, Kyle St. Jean. So here he is. Anthony, tires still getting warmed up, only 3rd lap in the race. Maybe being a little too aggressive. We were talking about you only have 1 set of tires in this race, so really aggressive, getting loose early in this race. It's a little shocking to me, Rick.
Yeah, Gene said thank you very much. He took that present. He, got the lead there. He's going to try to square it away here if he can, while also preserving tires. I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be tough getting through the field, especially for guys that are starting further in the back, trying to navigate their way through the field while trying to conserve tires all at the same time, as we have a battle side by side further in the pack.
Yeah, it looks like a battle for 9th or so there. The first few guys are all sorted out. They're all nose to tail. They know the deal here. They know they got to save some tires. Not going to race too hard here early, I don't think. As I say that, EJ looks to run it in there.
Yeah, EJ Luna on the inside of Kurt Ney, I believe, with the clown on his car there. So still side by side, 74 holding strong on the outside. Let's see if Panic can clear him. EJ Panic Luna can clear him. Still battling side by side with the naked clown.
Yeah, I'll be honest, Kurt. I'm going to have nightmares over that clown for quite some time.
Yeah, well, just as I'm saying that, he's in EJ Luna's rear mirror, so that's a thing in the past for EJ. Eyes forward for Luna, and you know what? Let's go ride with on the nose of Luna as he chases down Ryan Hufford for 9th. So you can see this gap here is about 1.5 between here, so you can see even a 1.3 second gap is almost a straightaway here at USA International.
Yeah, they're carrying a ton of speed here. It doesn't take much either with the way these corners are set up for one little bobble. I mean, it can cost you a second here.
Yeah, that's for sure. And we'll just keep the same camera. We'll hop into Ryan Hufford, and we'll see what it looks like a little closer. Closer racing.
A lot more going on here.
Yeah, and we see from the overlay here, Hufford's down 1 position from the start of this race. I can't recall, but I'm willing to bet that he started on the outside. It's very hard to start from the outside and maintain that starting position. Typically, that inside row will get the advantage, and outside the lower row will typically lose 1 position from the get.
Yeah, the lap before there, he did just run his fastest lap, so I don't know if in his internal clock it's go time. He thinks he needs to try to grab a couple of these positions while they're right in front of him, or...
I'll tell you what, it probably is, Rick. 10 laps in this race, you got some heat in the tires, so it has a lot more grip. And you found your brake point. You know how you can accelerate. He has Chris Schaefer here right in front of him. In Further Motorsports, they bring some good cars out to the track, so he has a good coach in front of him as Chris looks to dive it in, plays it safe there, doesn't quite get into Dakota, but Chris Schaefer looking to make a move on Dakota here. Yeah, you can see Chris really goes in harder on entry. That's going to give Dakota the runoff. As you see, he's gapping him slightly on corner exit. So the more aggressive entry with Chris here, typically you're going to see a lot more right front tire wear. But let's go back up to the front. It looks like we have a battle for the lead, Rick.
Oh yeah, it looks like Monroe has reeled Gene back in after that slide he had, costing in the lead. Seems to be putting the pressure on with 13 laps in here.
Yeah, so Kyle St. Jean was my pick, but Anthony Monroe's definitely give him a run for his money. So we'll look and see these front two battle it out for a few laps, and we'll go ahead, Rick.
They've put a little bit of a gap here on, you know, the third and fourth place. As I say that, the Rozier runs a little wide, so I'm not sure. Maybe he has an ill-handling car right now. But I was gonna say DeRozier was my pick. You know, I got to rep the old Inferno Motorsports gang. You know, I got to give them my support, even though I'm supposed to be a little unbiased. But you know, I got to support my guys here.
Yeah, Jesse definitely has speed week in and week out. I think it's a solid pick here at USA. You know, this is our first pilot season. You know, the first time at the track for all of us. Not sure how many races that all of us have in these respective classes, in these at these tracks, or if this is the first time that we're actually seeing a live race for some of these guys.
Yeah, I know. You know, a lot of these guys, they at least on the Inferno Motorsports side, just recently got into the late model racing specifically. But I mean, it seems to be a lot of fun racing. You can really put the throttle down on these cars, race aggressively, and you know, they are a little hard to pass, and you got to feed somebody a bumper here and there. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, so we're all single file through. It looks like the top 10 as we're watching turn 4 exit. Kyle St. Jean, really low exit there. He might have got loose. That caused him to get loose there, and Anthony gained some position on him, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to get back by him.
Yeah, interesting enough, as we watch the world's fastest conveyor belt here, you know, we're 18 laps in. We haven't seen a caution yet. You know, some of our other races, we had quite a bit of contact. I'm assuming it's because we're not on such a short track where there's a lot less real estate and you can kind of get a little more opened up here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a combination of a few things, right? It's a longer track, but perhaps maybe the most important thing is only one set of tires, right? So you have to protect the tires that are on your car because there's nothing in the pits for you. So maybe being a little more conservative from the get, knowing that you're not going to be able to stop at the midpoint or at any point to get some fresh tires. So you got what you got. So maybe I think some of the thought process might be happening on the track is, you know, I can ride right behind this guy in front of me, maintain that gap, let him burn the tires off. But I think
Monroe.
Oh, you're
really
right.
Putting the pressure
Diving
on
it
here.
in. I think the conservative mentality might not apply to these first two. So we'll see as the race unfolds. Maybe they're pushing a little bit too hard here, and later in the race they're going to fall off, and maybe the guys that are back 5th, 6th, 7th are going to give them a run for their money.
Yeah, that low line that Gene runs out of the corners there kind of gives those guys, you know, the space to get up above him. But he does a nice job getting up there on his corner entry as well. I don't know. He's looking pretty tough up there, but it looks like Monroe wants to get up there and set the pace himself.
Yeah, I'll remind you, Monroe did have pole position in this race, so he definitely knows how to get around this track very quickly, which makes me believe, you know, he's being conservative here because he has the fastest car. He set the pole, got the Goat Locker Racing pole award, so we know that he knows how to get around this track. So is he pushing Kyle just enough so Kyle maintains a certain level of aggressiveness to burn through that right front, or is he trying to get some clean air and get back in front of him? So again, it's hard to know where this mindset is for these drivers, but I do know we have a 9-car breakaway, EJ Luna being P10, 2 seconds back from P9.
Yeah, looking back through the field, it looks like a lot of these guys, you know, are running about the same lap times. There's no one guy that's really setting a torque. Ooh, as I'm saying that, Monroe really lost it there coming off the corner and let DeRozier here reel him in.
Yeah, that goes back to how much he's pushing. If he's getting loose, losing his rear, you know, 25 laps into this 80-lap race, I'm not sure if he's going to have those tires under him. I'm really curious to see how this this long green flag run goes. If it goes the entire 80 laps, I think some people are going to be hurting.
Yeah, especially you know, the lack of caution. Some of these guys that had to come through the field, you know, started a little further back. It's going to be interesting with one set of tires to see, you know, how much ground they can really make.
Yeah, as we're saying that, we have a little conversation going. Let's listen in.
I mean, but you did look out. You're good. I was going to let you run anyways. You're a little bit quicker. I don't know. You might have been setting my pace for me.
So a little conversation happening there between Chris Schaefer and Dakota Meller. It doesn't seem like there was any on-track incident. You know, they're running 2 positions apart. So I'm not sure what the discussion was, but civil discussion. We welcome open dialogue here in Kohort.
Yeah, back up front here, Monroe's really, really still hounding Gene, definitely keeping him honest up front.
Yeah, so even after losing the ground, falling back to Jesse a bit, we can see Anthony just close that gap again, which makes me believe Anthony might be the car to beat. No one picked him, Rick, but you know, Anthony definitely has the pace, but it goes back into how difficult it is to pass in these cars. So at what point does Anthony give Kyle a little nudge and say, hey, I'm here?
Yeah, I think, you know, it's too early in the race for that, for sure. You know, 30 laps in, I wouldn't think you'd want to do that and put yourself in the position to be on the receiving end of it late in this thing. But that's just from me maybe being a little more mature than I used to be when I first signed on to the old sim back in the day, and I was going to the front in a hurry no matter what.
Yeah, just as we say that, we see Anthony is definitely diving it though, has the pace. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see where patience, you know, I think you start this race with a certain level of patience, and then there's a correlation between laps remaining and patience left, Rick.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think you got to stay patient here. It's still, you're not even halfway through this. It's a long race. It's like we talked about, one of the bigger tracks that we've been to. You know, it's going to take some time. And as I say that, Gene, he runs that low line out of there, and every time I think Monroe's going to get a run on him, and it's almost the same time.
Yeah, Rick, you know as well as I do, these short track races, you need to use all the track. So you're going to be outside tires on that wall, inside tires on the inside line, and then a corner exit, same thing, outside tires on that wall. And if you're not doing that, you're losing some speed. So he's late getting to that wall, and that's what's allowing. I'll tell you what, we'll ride with on Anthony's nose here, and we'll see what it looks like.
Gene loose for the first time.
Oh, almost contact there. Let's hop on this nose and see where this battle looks like.
Yeah, Monroe dives it in there. Gene gets a great run off the top. He's going to be able to close the door going into 3 here. Looks like Gene's going to sort it. Monroe might get to his bumper here.
Yeah, we have
It's going to be interesting down into 1.
Oh,
there's a wreck.
Wreck up ahead in front of the leaders. First caution of the race. Wow.
Maybe?
That was close for the leaders.
Run there.
Oh my, what happened there?
Close call for the leaders. Rick, let's go take a look.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
At the incident that happened on track.
You were definitely hounding me, Ryan.
Let's see where.
Well, setting my pace. I know if I'm staying the same as you, we're gonna have to
Looking for it. Yeah, I'm not
even sure who that was.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to see. Well, we have Ted York and.
All right, who's taking gas?
Let's rewind and see. Let's see what we can find here, Rick. You know, sometimes the overlay here will tell me, you know, when the incident occurred. But I think we found it here. We have the 26 car, and Ted York, we're in the back. So yeah, we have a car facing the wrong way. So what we'll do here is we'll hit this little guy and let's see what happens. So
these guys are 17 seconds back.
17 seconds back, we're right along with the yellow car, Nicholas Giampa. He's on the outside. Looks like he tries to pinch down Ted York a little bit. And Ted York just
what?
let's
Doesn't
see.
look like Ted was having it.
Ted wasn't. Yeah, he wanted that inside line. So let's look at it from a different approach here.
Let's ride on the nose of Ted going in here to 1.
Yeah, let's do that. It's a good idea. All right, let's hop on his nose. So as we can see here on entry, Nicholas Giampa definitely has the position in track. The corner, by all rights, would be his at this point. Ted's not there to take that inside line, and Nicholas tries to shut the door on him kind of late, and Ted sends it in. Contact brings our first caution out of this race.
As your leaders squeak by.
Man,
That could have been bad.
Well, that's
We're-
good green
we were
flag
watching those leaders battle, and came
Yeah, that was
right up
fun.
on the accident immediately after it happened. You said 17 seconds back.
You were
You know,
definitely
that's
hounding me, Ryan.
almost what a lap time is. So
Bro, you're just setting my pace.
close
Okay.
call for the leaders.
Same as you. We're gonna have pretty close.
Now you're
tires.
the asphalt guy, so I'm gonna lean on you this season on some of these calls. You got to play crew chief here. What are you doing? This is an interesting time
All
in the
right,
race.
who's taking gas?
37 out of 80. Can we go 80 laps on fuel?
Well,
Do we need fuel?
I tell you what, Rick. I'll take you back to the first race of the season, as we're seeing who's pitting. So, where are we at? We're coming up on it. But first race of the season, we had the top 3 cars run out of fuel, and that allowed Kermit Henney to take home the inaugural win in the Kohort Late Model Stock Series. So it looks like Kyle St. Jean's staying out, unless he's trying to do a late fake. He stays out. We'll go down the field. We have Anthony Monroe pitting. Jesse stays out. Ryan Cavey, Kermit Henney comes in. Nicholas moves up. Chris Schaefer stays out. Huffer, Dakota, Luna, Rick Main stays out. I tell you what, Rick, this is going to be exciting. We have a huge shakeup here in the first caution of this race.
Yeah, it looks like it was almost 50-50 on what to do here through the field. Little Birdie told me that the Inferno Motorsports guys talked and they thought they could make it on fuel. You know, that there was going to be a couple other cautions and they were just close enough to where they thought they could save enough fuel to make it. So it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out for them. Oh my, look at that scary clown car.
So we got Rick Main, Inferno Motorsports. Chris Schaefer riding P4 after this caution. And now P2, Jesse DeRocha.
Yeah, I just think track position in these late models, especially with no tires, is just so much more important. If you can get away with fuel, if you're close, I just think you got to stay out here.
Yeah, like I said, first race of the season, 80 laps. Leaders ran out of fuel, so maybe that's what was going through the minds of these few cars that went in here. But like you said, about half the field, split field. But you know what we'll do? We'll take this time to give a shout out to our sponsors. Once again, thank you to our sponsors, Goat Locker Racing, providing sim equipment for veterans, first responders, police officers. Great organization. They run their own league. Look them up. And 5-6 Graphics, another great guy, made some paints for some of the guys here in the league. He's offered, this is first heard, Rick, this is brand new. He's offered to provide a paint for the champion of this pilot season. That hasn't been announced anywhere, but right here, right now, 5-6 Graphics will provide a paint to the championship leader, to the champion for this pilot season.
Yeah, that's awesome. Those guys over at 5-6 Graphics, you know, fun fact here, when I first got into iRacing and, you know, got my first official paint, I reached out to them. They hooked me up. They were super quick, super great. The quality was awesome. I mean, I can't say enough about 5-6. I'm so happy to have them on, you know, as a sponsor.
Yeah, Rick, and I got to thank you. You know, you're the one that told me the professionalism he had during that whole process of making that paint for you, and you're like, no, maybe reach out to him, see what he has going on, see if he'd be interested in sponsored league, and he was all about it. You know, and that's the one thing we're looking for. You know, as we grow this league and we're racing more often, and we're broadcasting, the league's growing. We have 17 cars in the field tonight. You know, as we get sponsors and really be able to provide something back to the guys that are coming out here to race with us.
Yeah, it's nice some of these guys come on and, you know, they offer something for the guys. You know, they don't have to do that. It's their time. You know, we're not paying them. They're not paying us. So, you know, it's great for some of these guys to do that for us.
You know, I think that's one of the good things. Pace car is in here, but the great thing about iRacing is the community that you got. And Kyle St. Jean leads us to the green flag.
Yeah, out of 4 into the 5-6 graphics restart zone. I mean, Kyle Jean got a great jump. Looks like DeRozier going to follow suit. They're pretty single file already, pretty solid start for all these guys. They were able to get it together.
Yeah, it looks like we
What's
have
that?
a bee's nest back here. We got 2 wide, 3 wide. We got the 74 car outside. Curtin A holding strong. Once again, it's Curtin A on the outside holding strong. He's definitely aggressive on that outside, being able to hold people back.
Yeah, it looks like a 5-car breakaway. You know, it's going to be interesting. Some of these guys that were in the back, they stayed out. You know, maybe some of the guys that have a little better feel of the track, you know, going to have to come through the field here. And as we've talked about quite a few times, it's just hard to pass.
Yeah, I think you nailed it, Rick, with the mix-up in that caution and all the cars that were in the top 5. Well, minus the ones that stayed out. So we have Constantine that stayed out. But we're looking at, you know, the Ryan KV, Kermit Henney. They were all up there in the top 5. Now they find themselves back 10th and 11th. It's going to be interesting to see them battle through the field here in USA International.
Monroe looked to make a move there on Klingon going in. I think he's going to complete that pass. Yes, he is.
So we're riding along here. We have Ryan Cavey in the 91 PFC brakes. Looking at the inside of Curtin A. Curtin A holds strong. Further up ahead, we have Ryan Hufford. Yeah, exactly. Ryan Hufford poking on the inside of Bruce Klingon here. Still holding strong on the inside. See if he can dive it in. I'll tell you what, it's hard to hold your ground on the outside. And as I say that,
it like that.
Yep, as I say that, you know, Hufford gains that position. Bruce Klingon loses back. And then we have 74. Ooh, might have been contact there. I'll tell you what, let's hop on the nose of Curtin A. As they've separated a little bit after making slight contact, I do believe.
Well, I would say that's a product of Klingon tired of getting freight trained. He knew he needed to get down to the bottom, and he saw a little opening, and it wasn't quite enough, but he figured he'd squeeze it in there anyway.
Yeah, it worked out for him. As we see up ahead, looks like Chris Schaefer is getting below Rick Main.
That's actually Hufford there.
Hufford getting below him, okay.
Yeah, Rick Main seems to be off the pace here. You know, maybe he didn't take care of his tires as well as he needed to. You know, we're pushing almost 3/4 of the way through this race.
Yeah, you nailed it. 50 laps in. I think this is the point. Oh, contacts. Rick Main, Curtin A, 3 wide, going into the corner. Kermit backs out wisely. Don't want to be sandwiched between Curtin A and Rick Main, who we see Rick Main falling quickly through the field. So not sure if there's something wrong, if he made contacts, or if it was just tire wear.
Yeah, he looks like he has a, you know, he lost a cylinder. He's going back in a hurry. That thing's ill handling. You can see when he comes off the corner, it's shooting across the track.
Oh, looks like there's traffic. Is that Gary Mansberger? Gary Mansberger and I believe Wagon. Yeah, Wagon Shuts with trouble back here. So let's go take a look and see what's happened here between these two. Once again, we're going to do the classic rewind. Once again, the overlay's not keeping track of live incidents. I do apologize for the inconvenience of having to rewind. But we're going to show you the action. I promise you that. So we got Gary Mansberger in the 13M, black and yellow Chevrolet. All right, let's see what happened here.
When you're sitting in the corner looking straight at the wall, you're not having a great day.
All right, so Gary Mansberger in the Fuck Cancer Chevrolet. Let's see. So, ooh, on the straightaway, it looks, maybe we need to go back to Wagon Shuts here. Maybe that's where the...
Put us on the hood of that. We can see if Mansberger comes across her.
All right, so we're riding along here with Ryan Wagon Shuts. Looks like he comes down. Yeah, it looks like he comes down slightly, getting ready for corner entry, thinking he's could clear. What's the blimp look like? So let's rewind. Let's check out the blimp. Let's see what was happening. So we have 3 wide, 100%. Ryan is not clear on the outside. Gary's in no man's land here in the middle at a short track. Yeah, just ran out of space. You know, it's a short track, Rick, you know, so you don't want to be in that outside line. I don't know whether or not. Let's check it in the cockpit view, and if maybe he couldn't tell whether or not he was clear or not. Yeah, it's hard to tell whether he thought he was clear and he was just going to dive in behind Gary there, but contact was made. Second caution of the night, lap 51 of 80.
Are we still green?
It looks like we're green. Was there no caution that came out from there?
I guess iRacing said no. That's you know, part of the not having live admin. If iRacing says no caution, you have no caution.
Yeah,
So,
they were running in the back of the pack, and it seems like we're still under green flag. So you didn't miss a bit of the action. We paused, we fast forward. We're here live now. Kyle St. Jean still leading the field. Jesse DeRocha P2 with Nicholas Walthorn riding third with Chris Schaefer chasing him.
yeah, it looks like a great battle. Little 4-car pull away here.
Oh!
Oh,
Was that contact? Contact
I'm
for the
not sure.
lead?
was that contact or did
Kyle...
Gene get loose?
I don't know. Now we have Kyle on the outside. We've seen Kyle up front all day. So let's see how he battles back here. And let's see if he keeps getting freight trained on the inside. So Kyle's holding him down. Ooh, that's aggressive on the outside. Pinching him down through the center. Gets the run off. Aggressive move. Clean, aggressive move. But it looks like it paid off as Kyle clears Nicholas Walthorn for P2 and Chris Schaefer taking advantage.
Yeah, they go door to door here for third. Schaefer, you know, had to stick it up there on the outside. We'll see if he can make that outside groove work. Haven't seen too many people pass on the outside. I think you can run there, but I don't know if you can pass there, but we're going to find out.
Well, as we just saw with Kyle St. Jean, unless you pinch him through the center and really hold him down there, that inside line is going to prevail on corner exit. And that, just as we're saying that, we see Nicholas Walthorn get by Chris Schaefer. Now he's battling Anthony Monroe for P4, side by side.
Yeah, Monroe looks to have the line, and Bufford's going to try to capitalize and fill that hole as well. Schaefer really needs to get down here.
Yeah, that's just what I was thinking that was going to happen to Kyle St. Jean. Once you get caught on the outside, it's very easy to get freight trained here, especially at a short track. As we see, Chris Schaefer says, "No, sir. You're going to stop right there. Enough of the freight train. I'm going to fall in line." And now he's looking to make a move.
Push wide.
Ooh, pushing wide. A lot of traffic back here. Battle for the lead. We still got 0.2 between them. We have a pretty intense battle here for P4. As we're looking to see if Chris Schaefer can regain those positions that he lost after getting caught on the outside. Looking to cross over Anthony Monroe for P4.
Yeah, trying to do to Monroe what he did to him, right? So he's going to hold him wide and, you know, dive it down.
Rick,
as we pan back up to the front.
I tell you what,
they're getting with it.
This is heating up here between Kyle St. Jean and Jesse. We're going to hop on Kyle St. Jean's nose. Let's see where he's gaining here. So corner exit seems pretty even. Jesse's gaps him the slightest bit.
20. Yeah, it looks like he's running a little wider entry.
Yep, 22 to go here. Kyle St. Jean led the preponderance of these laps. We had Anthony Monroe start the pole. I think he led a few. Oh, contact.
Ooh,
Kyle gets into him, sends him. Kyle St. Jean says, "Hey, I'm faster, I'm here." Jesse shows his displeasure and says, "No, sir, no bump and run today. I'm going to take this position back."
Yeah, did what he needed to do, ran him back down the hill to open up his entry so he could get through that corner clean. I mean, that short track race, and I love to see it.
That was a great tit for tat right there. We saw Kyle St. Jean give him the bumper. Jesse naturally goes high from that momentum that Kyle gave him. And then Jesse pinches him on the straight and says, "Let's see you enter from the grass."
Yeah, hard to make these corners from the infield, but you know, Jesse's going to try to score it away. Gene's going to try not to let him. I mean, we got a good one with under 20 to go here.
Yeah, Rick, we talked about it. The correlation between laps left with patience left, and I think we're seeing it here. You know, 19 to go, 18 to go at the line. Patience is going to slowly go away in favor of trying to get to that checkered flag.
Yeah, who took care of their stuff better, right? You know, Gene was, you know, a little more aggressive. He's already, you know, made contact with a couple drivers. Did he use up some of his stuff? Did Jesse do a good enough job following him around to save tires? I don't know. Gene looks like he might be getting a run.
Yeah, we're looking at these leaders battle for the lead. So it's rare that they're battling for the lead and still gapping the field. We have a 2-car breakaway. We have Nicholas Wildthorn kind of on an island there, a little Revis Island there in P3. Chris Schaefer and Anthony Monroe still going at it with Ryan Hufford poking in P6.
Yeah, these guys up front, I mean, they're putting on a show for us. They're putting on a show for a top 5 finish. You know, Hufford's on the outside. He's looking in. Who doesn't want to get a P5? Who doesn't want to get a podium? It's crunch time now, Kurt.
Yes, sir. And we're going to go in the cockpit of Kyle St. Jean for a few laps because this lead battle, as we see, I think Gary Mansberger maybe a little damaged after that contact in that last caution. Man, we have the leaders battling for the lead, catching lap traffic, Rick.
Yeah, and you know as well as I do, when you start getting into lap traffic, anything can happen. And you know, coming to just, 15 to go, it's go time. There's no more waiting. There's no more saving. You got to go.
Absolutely, Rick. This is it. You know, especially because even if you you get by them, there's not that many laps left to really get that momentum back. Make your move. This is chess. As we see Gary move high out of the way. In the marbles there, so hopefully Gary doesn't get too loose, collect all that dirt on his tires, the rubber, and cause another incident here.
Yeah, really respectful of the leaders. Move out of the way, let them do their thing. They're racing for a win here. Racing for points. So real respectable out of Mansberger. I tell you what, both of these guys are running a clean race. It's going to take either a bumper or a mistake out of Jesse.
Yeah, and we saw Kyle give him the bumper once. Does he do it again? He gets close. Oh, it's close, Rick. Oh, my goodness. It is close up here.
Does he dive him this lap? Ooh.
Oh, man. He's there.
Yeah, Gene's wearing him out like an old pair of sneakers.
Let's hop out of the car. Let's see if we get a better angle on this. Yeah, front 2 cars pacing the field. They've gapped the field by almost 2 seconds. A little over 2 seconds. Battling for the lead, gapping the field. Very impressive show by Jesse DeRocha and Kyle St. Jean.
Yeah, it's clear to me, with 10 to go, that it's going to be one of these two guys. They got the speed. They saved the tires. Gene's got to run here, Kurt.
Oh, it looks like Jesse goes really wide, almost gives it to him. So maybe Jesse's playing chess here and says, okay, you're being pretty aggressive. I don't want you to dump me. I'm going to let you by me. There's 9 laps to go. Still plenty of time for me to maybe do a little Kyle St. Jean and move you out of my way.
Yeah, did Gene show his cards a little too early?
That's what we'll see. Kyle St. Jean gapped him a little bit there. So now Kyle St. Jean, his eyes need to be forward. Don't try to drive out of your mirror. Hit your marks. You were the fastest car earlier in this race. So I think if he hits his marks, it's going to be tough to beat. It was my pick, Rick. It was my pick.
Well, and, my pick, he might be sitting in the catbird seat. Is there caution?
Rick, I think there's a caution.
Ooh, this is going to be interesting, Kurt. Drama here.
Oh, man. So who we got? Do we have Gary Mansberger? Let's rewind again.
Looked like the 66 was sitting sideways of Wagon Schultz.
Wagon Schultz, there's a car sideways.
Who was that? The 46 of Meller.
Is that Dakota? We have Dakota sideways.
We got one into the wall. Ooh, the 82.
Man.
Oh, boy.
All right. Oh, was there maybe two incidents here? Let's try to find.
Monroe was part of it.
Monroe by himself. Let's see. He's down in the grass. What happened to him?
Is his car broken? What's?
All right. Let's see if we can get maybe the chase view. Let's see what happens here. Looks like he's clean here. On entry. Oh, hits the apron, Rick.
Ooh, yeah, that apron. Grass is not where you want to be in a asphalt late model.
That is, yep, that'll do it. So he hits the apron, gets into the grass, and then as he tries to save it, comes back into the racing line. No fault of his own. He's in a race car, Rick. He has the thing called momentum, so you can only hit the brakes, and you're not locking up a late model stock in the grass, Rick. So he slides back up into the track.
let's see it from the Meller point of view.
Oh, man. Grab a new pair of underwear if you're Meller. Let's hop in his cockpit, shall we? That is not what you want to see when you're coming out of turn 4, Rick. Not a good view. In his mind, he's like, okay, he's angling down. This is going to be good, right? Let's play. Oh.
Almost squirted through there.
Oh, man. Yep, so we have Anthony Monroe hitting the apron. And then Dakota just barely. I'll tell you what, let's do one more. Let's see how close he was to avoiding Anthony Monroe. Let's hop into the camera crew here. This camera guy's floating in the infield, I think. All right, let's see. Let's hop.
Did the 74 get a piece of it there?
74. Let's see, Curtin A. Let's hop in from the chase view here.
Look at those cans.
Yep, definitely contact there. He's able to stay straight. So it's really that contact there that gives Anthony Monroe a little more rotation going. Starts the carousel. Ooh.
Oh, he might have made it through there.
The
It might
contact,
have been the 91 that got him.
the 91 Ryan Cavey definitely gets into the back. Let's rewind again. And let's ride on the nose of Ryan Cavey, because maybe that's really the
This might have been Ryan No Brakes Cavey.
Ryan No Brakes Cavey. Let's see here. Short track racing. Thinking that Dakota's going to get by on the high side. Ryan Cavey absolutely drives through Dakota, ends up spinning him and bringing out our. Was this our second caution of the race, Rick?
I believe it was, because the first Mansberger incident, it didn't end up being a caution there. So I believe that was the second one with 8 to go. Pretty good racing thus far.
Oh, man, Rick. 8 to go. We get a caution. Going to stack up the field after Kyle St. Jean and Jesse DeRocha really separated themselves from the rest of the field.
Yeah, probably not what Gene or DeRocha wanted to see, but it's exactly what I wanted to see.
Yeah, this is exciting for us in the booth, everybody in the stands, and for our sponsors. Once again, Goat Locker Racing. I appreciate you guys coming on board, helping us out, offering packages for a poll award, helping with the awareness of the Kohort League. 5-6 Graphics once again, giving a paint to the champion of our pilot season. I reach out to these guys saying, hey, look, pilot season, we're building. We have like 15 plus cars going, 17 this week. Was this something you'd be interested in? Starting in season 1, which is going to be in a few weeks. And then 5-6 Graphics like, you know what? Let me double down. Let me offer a paint for the pilot season as well. So shout out to 5-6 Graphics, Goat Locker Racing for sponsoring us here.
One lap, guys, so be prepared for 1 to go.
Little inception here as I'm shortening the caution
The outside for Lucky Dog.
just to capitalize on racing laps here.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I think DeRocha was losing him a little bit there. So, he might have wanted to see this so he can get another one last crack here at Gene. I'll tell you who, really wanted to see this, I believe, was Christopher Schaefer. Looking at the timing and scoring, he was running some very competitive laps with the leaders.
How do I go a lap down dodging the guy that can't hold the
So riding along here with Chris Schaefer, Rick's talking about. So he's been putting up some good laps. An Inferno Motorsports teammate of Rick Mayne and Jesse. Like I said, they bring some good cars, good clean racers, good camaraderie they bring to the league. I appreciate them coming in and racing here in the Kohort Late Model Stock Series. Let's ride along. Let's see if Kyle St. Jean's sweating in there. What do you think, Rick? Is he sweating?
I'll tell you what, pole or the, first place is not where I would want to be on this restart, to be completely honest with you. That's, get moved city.
Rick, sounds like we're green. All right, so broadcast, come on. Let's go. Come on, Cohort broadcast, and let's speed it up a little bit. Got a green flag race and get out of the helmet cam. Let's see the race in action.
Yeah, 4 to go, coming to the green. DeRocha's got to go. Gene got a great restart. It's going to be close. Does Jesse have a long memory, or is he like a goldfish? Is he going to move him?
I was just talking about how clean racers these Inferno Motorsports guys are. So do I put my foot in the mouth and does Jesse Does Jesse send Kyle for the win? 3 to go, Rick. 3 to go.
3 to go. If you have the opportunity to move somebody, I think you move somebody. These wins are not easy to come by in the Kohort late model series.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, Kyle St. Jean was our winner last week. I'm sure everybody knows, and no one likes a repeat winner. You know, we got Chris Buescher out there winning back-to-back. It's like, what's he doing? Kyle St. Jean, as he's gapping Jesse here.
Yeah, Jesse might have to settle in. I don't know if he has what it takes. Last lap here, Kurt.
We got the white flag brought to you by Goat Locker Racing. Kyle St. Jean is definitely gapping him on the backstretch, Rick.
Yeah, Jesse's going to have one more chance as he dive it. He dove it in deep. Not going to get there. Looks like Jean's going to bring home our race win here.
And there it is,
Good
checkered
win,
flag. Kyle St. Jean, Desi DeRosa, and Christopher Schaefer. Top 3
stand by for photo.
here at USA International Speedway.
And
Rick,
interviews.
I tell you what, that caution brought some action, brought everybody in. It was intense up there for the battle. We had different battles going on through the race, but our eyes were set on those front 2. I thought Jesse was going to give him a little action, repay him earlier in the race. Didn't happen that way. What are your thoughts on this race, Rick?
Yeah, really great race. I think,
I'll be on the
you
far
know,
left for the photo, please.
Gene did a great job
If possible.
when, you know,
If not,
when to
we'll
be
make it work.
aggressive, when not to be aggressive, when to save his stuff. As he does a little burnout here to you know, for the fans. You know, I think there at the end, it looked like Schaefer, you know, was the big winner of that last caution, able to come up, snag a podium there at the end.
Yeah, and let's go back. We can talk about that caution, right? We had Ryan Cavey, who was up in the top 5, Kermit Henney, top 5. You know, and it ends up that they barely clinched. You know, we have Kermit P7, Ryan Cavey all the way back in 15th. So maybe that pitting during that first caution wasn't the move, Rick.
Yeah, like I was talking about, I mean, those guys proved it there. You were able to save enough fuel. And I just think track position, these cars run really, really close lap times. It seems like all the way through the field, you know, minus those 2 guys up front. They seem to have saved their stuff a little better than maybe the rest of the field. And it's just extremely hard to pass. So I think track position moving forward, you got to have that in the back of your mind.
Yeah, and I think people are going to take this race compared to that first race and look at the fuel strategy and really determine what was the right move and what wasn't. So, Rick,
Yeah,
go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, you know, a couple different things about those races, right?
All right, good enough.
You got your short track, you got your, you know, this was a bigger track. We had tires in those other ones. We switched, we had a poll. All the guys wanted to go to no tires, a little better racing. So, I mean, all that plays into it.
Yeah, I think the no tires, you know, definitely made for some more interesting racing. You know, conservative early on, but then we saw some aggressive battles there late. Again, there were battles going on through the field. We had Kurt Ney, Ryan Cavey getting into it, Kermit Henney, Kurt Ney battling side by side, Ted York battling back there in the pack. So we had battles throughout the field, Rick, but you know we only got one camera, so we had to focus on the lead. But there was a lot of good racing throughout the field tonight. So we're gonna move forward, Rick, and we're trying to get some driver interviews. I appreciate you joining us. Can't wait for next week as we head to Thompson. Thompson's going to be another good race. It's going to be one of those tracks where it's borderline single lane racing, and it's the midline, Rick. So it's not the low line as we saw tonight. It was the premier line. So it's racing in the mid. Seems to be the fastest at Thompson. So we're going to see how the racing unfolds there. Because if you get the low line, you're really not at an advantage here at Thompson next week.
Yeah, I think you're going to see some guys use that low line, though, to maybe get underneath some guys, get them a little loose. It's going to be some exciting racing next week. I look forward to it.
I tell you what, Rick, maybe, just maybe, we'll see some dirt sliders at Thompson, knowing that low line's going to be open. What do you think?
I pray for it. You know, I love a good slide job. So, you know, I'm looking forward to next week. You know, I'm real happy to be up here in the booth with you.
All right, Rick. Well, I appreciate you joining me. I know you got races tonight. Look forward to the broadcast next week at Thompson. For everybody watching, stay tuned. We're going to get the driver interviews going here. And thanks again. One last shout out to Goat Locker Racing for joining us here, offering winner or pole position packages. spreading the awareness of the Kohort late model stock series and our Dirt 360 series at 7 p.m. Sunday nights. And 5.6 Graphics, appreciate you once again. First heard here live on the broadcast, offering a paint for the champion of our pilot season. So Rick, man, thanks again. Look forward to Thompson. Good luck in your races tonight, buddy.
Thanks, and thanks for having me again, Kurt.
It was a great race. Looking forward to next week. All right, let's move forward. We're going to get these driver interviews going.
All right, Chris Schaefer, covering the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, Kermit.
Hey, Chris, there's some good racing out there. Long green flag runs. Brought it home, podium finish. How do you feel about your run?
Man, I'm pretty happy, especially after last week.
I'm assuming with the
long
dramatic
green flag
pause I can
run,
talk.
car work
No.
into place. And it was clean. Like I raced side by side with the 54 there for a while. Ryan was all over my bumper. He got me there at the end. He tapped me. Didn't spin me, but he was trying to get me loose, and I did get loose, but he backed off and let me collect it up. So, all in all, I think it was a good night.
Yeah, I would agree. There's a lot of good racing all through the field there. Minimal cautions. GG's on the top three. Any shout out for any sponsors?
Yeah, man, I got to thank you guys for putting on the league and you for doing the broadcast and racing at the same time. My boys at Inferno Motorsports, Jesse's up here and Rick Main that run it with us, and Getting Hooked, my own-time sponsor, Highline Photography, D&T Designs for the paint, A&J Customs. I'm sure I'm forgetting a couple, but it happens. I don't finish on the podium much.
Well, let's prepare that speech for next week. A great run, and we'll see you next week at wherever we're heading to.
Yes, sir. I'll see you next week.
Jesse, you got me? Jesse, coming to the booth, you got me? All right, Jesse might have left. Maybe he had to take care, pack up his hauler. Kyle, St. Jean. Jesse, you here?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, Jesse, P2, long green flag runs. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, it was good racing. The series is looking like Kyle's going to be hard to beat, but it was definitely clean. I think no tires definitely played into it tonight. Guys saving their tires, not burning their stuff up early, definitely was a big part of it.
Yeah, that mid-race caution, some people took gas, some people stayed out. What was your thoughts heading into that caution?
Well, I was showing I was only half a lap short, so had to chance it there.
Yeah, it certainly worked out for you front runners. I believe all of you stayed out under that caution, got the cautions you needed to get you fuel to the end. Great run on for your P2. Any shout out for any sponsors?
Inferno Motorsports, Getting Hooked, Highline Photography, D&T Designs, and I think that's all of them.
Awesome, buddy. Great run. We'll see you next week.
Yep, see you next week.
Kyle St. Jean bringing it home, P1 today. It's Carbon in the booth. You got me?
Yes, I'm ready, man.
All right, Kyle. Great run, long green flag runs. We had a mid-race caution. You opted to stay out. Talk to me about your run.
Well, man, I felt pretty good. We had no extra tires, so there was no point. I had fuel, so decided to keep it running.
Yeah, I think that was the strategy that really the only strategy we had in this race, whether or not we were going to have enough fuel to make it to the end. Certainly those caution laps helped those that were close make it. Turns out a pit wasn't needed, so it looks like you made the right decision. How do you feel like your tires were throughout that run?
They felt pretty good. Yeah, I was going on that painted line where all the rubber was building up, so it felt good all night. I didn't really feel any pushing.
Tell you what, buddy, that's 2 in a row. Any shout out for any sponsors?
No, not yet.
All right, well, great run. Maybe keep bringing it home P1. You'll get some sponsors on that car, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
I'm sure as hell gonna try.
All right, buddy. GG's.
All right, GG.